Hello and welcome to another episode of Beyond the Credits and Chords. I am your host, Practical, joined by the fellas.
Denny boy.
It's Rex.
Yo, it's Brandon.
And today we're talking about Canadian director James Cameron.
Wait, he's Canadian?
He is.
He is Canadian.
He is Canadian as fuck. Not much can be said about Mr. Cameron that the world hasn't said already. Like every time dude drops a movie, it's a motherfucking blockbuster. Has released probably two of the best, if not the best, sequel of all time, in my personal opinion, but we'll get to that. Pretty much every movie on his docket, like I said, is a huge deal, and Danny Boy picked five of his movies, picked five of his biggest movies and his best movies, probably his best movies in my personal opinion, all five of them. Today we're going to be talking Terminator, Terminator 2, Aliens, Titanic, and True Lies. The exciting part about True Lies for me is that was probably like the one I knew the least. I mean, I'd seen it a shitload, but in my adult years,
Never seen it.
It'd been a while, so it was cool to revisit that one. And then the other ones are just good old tried and trues. So,
My Dana.
all right, Danny. Well, tell us why you chose Mr. Cameron and you know, his style and influence and all that shit. Or not style and influence, but his style, you know, and what he does.
Just a little tidbit of trivia or quiz information, I guess you could say. Him and I are both the same alumni. Although I didn't finish school at Fullerton College, he went to Fullerton College as well. I chose him because I know that was stupid.
That was great.
Hey, yo, I dropped out of the same college that James Cameron went to.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Anyways, no, I mean, I chose him because two of these movies are like in my top 5 greatest action movies ever. That being Terminator 2 and True Lies. It's just every time, like you said, every time he makes a movie, it's a blockbuster. And whether it's space related or alien related or, you know, sci-fi related, whether, you know, there's cyborgs or what do they call them in the Avatar? Navi or no?
Navi.
Navi, yeah.
I knew it started with an N.
Big blue bitches that
he's able to create these environments and these
Trivia I didn't need
settings
to know.
that are so encapsulating. You kind of get, you know, immersed into it, especially Avatar. But like for me, the Terminator movies, like how cool would it be if there was, you know, an actual cyborg running around trying to kill some woman that was, you know, apparently birthing the guy that was going to save the human race. So I just like all of his movies, honestly. There's really not ones that are like really bad. I mean, The Abyss is kind of eh. Rex, I know you mentioned Piranha 2, but him being like a fill-in director for that movie, I didn't really feel like that would be a good one.
that's technically his first movie, I guess. That's
it
crazy.
is, yeah. I wanted to start with Terminator though because he actually got the idea. He wrote the script after he had watched Halloween. He was inspired by John Carpenter, and he wrote that script about the Terminator. And then
while homeless, living in his car, by the way.
Right? Yeah. It's so
That
crazy.
college degree.
I guess that's what you got to do. I mean, J.K. Rowling lived in her car. Jewel lived in her car. Like maybe we got to go live in our cars, and that's how we make money. I don't know.
It's
Starving artist, man.
Something about desperation and starving.
Yeah, when you have to make it or
Yeah,
you die, then
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's all you got. It's all you're good at. You got to do it. Yeah.
But no,
he's
he's
Jewel. Jewel sucks. By the way.
he's definitely one of the more influential directors, in my opinion, for me, as a movie goer and enjoyer, especially the action, man. I mean, we'll get into it with these movies, but some of the car chases are just like so iconic. Obviously, the T2 ones, all of them, pretty much all of them, not just the one in the beginning. I love the one with the helicopter and shit. But he just has these iconic moments in all of his movies, especially the ones we watched. So I just thought it would be fun to go over because, yeah, these are some of my favorite movies ever, honestly.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't blame you. He's one thing I was gonna say about him is he's got his own style. There's things you can identify about him, but he's also like a master of all tricks. Like he can do anything, honestly. Like you watch the movies and you see, you know, he can capture an action shot just like anybody else in Hollywood, but he's gonna have his own spin on it. Like there's that scene in Terminator where the light is flashing while they're fighting in the bathroom stall and shit. That's actually pretty sweet. I mean, not Terminator, but True Lies. Sorry, but and that scene reminds me of Terminator, which is kind of cool. So I think like segments from his future, earlier or later movies can like remind you of each other, which I think is pretty sick. But yeah, what about you, Rex?
I like James Cameron. I like all his movies, most of them.
I think he's pretty
True Lies
tight.
was good till the end. The end. Oh man, that was rough. The end
What are you
was
talking
rough.
about? That is one of the greatest villain deaths of all time, and a top
And the tagline.
mushroom cloud kiss. Like,
Yeah.
no, dude, that ending fucking rules, bro.
Those people all have radiation, bro. Like,
Look, the whole fight being him flying a freaking jet in the
bro,
building.
Harry Tasker is the bomb, dude. He's
It
like one of
is
the best
so-
heroes, dude.
That it was so wild. I almost couldn't believe it.
He was
He hadn't
Jason Bourne
flown-
before Jason
Hey,
Bourne.
but he hadn't
The
flown one of
death
those
of the
things in
villain
what,
was
10
great.
years?
The death of the villain was great. Like it was a sweet,
It's like a
Arnold
one of a kind
Schwarzenegger.
death, dude. Like I've never
yeah.
seen that in another movie.
Oh,
But,
dude, it was iconic.
I
Yo,
like everything that he does usually. If outside the avatars are cool and I watch them, but every time I watch them a second time, I dislike them.
Really?
Yeah, I
They're
know
just
about
really
that.
boring. I'm bored, dude. Like it's kind of a tried and true trope
It's
with all
good
the
story
stories
building.
for
It's
those.
good character development. It takes a while
Look,
to get
man,
to the action. I get it, but
His Avatar movies are just like, yo, I bet this is gonna happen. Whoa, what a shocker! It did. Look, that's all I'm saying. Do I go see every Avatar movie in theater? Absolutely. Will I
Of course
keep?
you do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're great movies to watch, but watching them a second time, I'm like, oh man, this is just.
I don't know, man. I think the family dynamic in the second one is really, really well done. Like
Yeah,
the
I agree.
brothers and the daughter and the adopted daughter, and then him
Mhm.
and Zoe Saldana. Like I think that is
What did I
so
I
well
named everything in the whole movie the whole time I watched it. Oh, I bet Natiri doesn't like what's her
yeah, but it's like it's
what's her
well done.
name's character? Oh yeah, that's true. Oh, I bet the son of what's his name, the general who came back to life. I bet he's gonna go and save the dude's life. Oh, guess what he did? There's just a lot of things that were
all right,
predictable, but it's
Polanski,
okay.
calm down.
But look. Here's the thing. I still like all these movies outside Titanic.
sure.
I'm still really flatlined on Titanic. I don't
Yeah, that movie
care
sucks.
for it at all. I don't hate it though. Like can't say anything too bad about it, but there's never a time I'm like I'm gonna watch this.
The thing about directors like James Cameron, though, is like he came up in an era where we're gonna feel like that stuff is super basic or predictable, as you're saying. But it's like not for when where he came from, and I know you're using Avatar as an example, so it's newer, but it's like everything that influenced him to this point is going to be in those movies. So it's there's going to be
I'm
things you
specifically
recognize. You're
in
a
that
movie
in that
watcher
term.
too.
In that term, I'm speaking specifically to the Avatars.
No,
Not to
exactly.
any of his
but-
other work and story wise, because I think T2, Aliens, I do have a problem with Aliens, but I think all these movies that you picked are great outside of Titanic. True Lies, the ending, this is the first time I ever watched it. It just wasn't what I was expecting. I was
my heart.
hoping for a good old Arnold
Crazy.
Schwarzenegger smackdown with the last dude, but he got blown
Bro,
off of
Arnold
by
was
a
like
fucking-
40
It's that whole
Arnold
movie
was
has
like
a little bit of change
43
of
when he
pace.
filmed that movie, dude.
Look.
He was like 43, dude. He was not going to be kicking anybody's ass.
He kicks people's ass the whole movie.
What
Danny. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about, dude?
He's
Like a
taking a break
stuntman
at the
does.
end,
A
dude.
stuntman
Yeah.
does.
The end, he's like, I've had enough. I've been through a nuclear explosion. I can't fight. I'm gonna jet this guy in the middle of Miami.
Oh man, that movie
That's
has a
awesome.
horrible
Look,
4K
I
transfer.
digress. We'll get to
also,
that. We'll
by
get
the
to
way.
that. Either way, I do like James Cameron, and I really like his
Parts of it.
older stuff more than his newer stuff
Mm.
because he is a legend with 2 sequels being amazing.
Maybe 3. I've never seen Piranha 2.
I've never seen Piranha 2 either. We didn't even get the chance. Thanks for that,
sorry,
Danny.
obviously,
You're
but-
welcome. Believe me, I think I saved you.
And to you, Brandon.
Yeah, I mean, back to kind of your point a little bit, where I don't think any of the stories in any of his movies are really all that revolutionary or groundbreaking. But to me, it's the execution. Everything is like at like such a level of execution that it makes those stories, even as basic as they are, it elevates them a little bit. Like I'm saying, yeah, the family dynamic in Avatar, The Way of Water might be something that you've seen before, but they're aliens. Sam Worthington and Zoe Saldana, like their performances really show through that, like motion capture or whatever. And same with the kids. Like, I don't know. I think he does a really good job. And that all that being said, I think his style is really is in terms of action too, is really like fast paced and like snappy. I mean, the Terminator is like an hour and 50 minutes or some shit, and like I swear to God, that movie feels like it's 30 minutes long, dude.
It goes
like,
so fast.
I'm like, that movie is just, it gives you a little bit to go, and then boom, it's happening, man. But I really like James Cameron as a filmmaker. I have a lot of affinity, especially for Terminator 2, because me and my brother growing up, I couldn't even tell you, and True Lies, him and me too. Like, I couldn't even tell you how many times we've seen those movies.
Hell yeah.
We have little inside jokes between each other, about, like the way like people say a certain, like a guy says shit in Terminator 2. The guy driving the truck, he gets thrown out by T-1000. The way he says shit like makes me and my brother laugh for whatever reason. Shit! Like we have all these little jokes, and that's just like one example. And and True Lies is the same way. Like, I don't know, I feel like Danny's laughing because he's maybe the same way with his brothers.
I have one too from Terminator 2 when they crash the whatever car that they take original, or the SWAT van, and then the fucking little old guy comes running out and he goes, "Oh,
dude, the noises people make in these movies, seriously, my brother, I don't know what it does about me and my brother that shit makes us laugh. But yeah, again, so many inside jokes amongst me and him between, and yeah, James Cameron. I used to get my hair cut like fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator 2. Me and my brother. Hey, give us the fucking Terminator haircut.
Give us that T2 cut.
Yeah, give me that T2. I love you, Brian. Pussy. Anyway, Aaron.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good way to roll into the theme segment of our show, where we kind of talk about what's reoccurring for him, and the love story thing, which I know is going to come up for Titanic for sure. But obviously, love is a theme you see in pretty much all of the movies you picked, except for maybe Aliens. I mean, even
Michael
True
Biehn
Lies
is a charm, dude. If he survived, him and freaking Ripley would have been boning.
Well, I think the love in that movie is mostly between Newt and Ripley.
Yeah, it's more of a motherly.
It's a motherly thing. Yeah.
That's also another thing about James Cameron, just to kind of like step in, is he's always putting like strong female characters in all of his movies. Like, every one of his movies has a badass lady, except for maybe True Lies. But even Jamie Lee Curtis kind of like gets there at a point,
She beats Tia Carrera's ass in that one.
Exactly.
She does fuck her up pretty good. Yeah. I mean, so yeah, you've got the love aspect, both, like parental or paternal, and then deep love story type deals. Even Arnold Schwarzenegger thinks that, she's cheating on him in that movie, and he fucking loses it. So that's, it's felt throughout. And then his movies they're super violent, and there's always a pretty heavy aspect of sci-fi for most of them, or investigative, like filmmaking, which is cool. And I think his themes are usually pretty much the same all the way up into Avatar now, but he does it so well. He's that big blockbuster director. Yeah, and he's the one. He's like the really good, experienced version of what Michael Bay thinks he does. Like that's the best way to put it for James Cameron. I think he's like the expectation, and
he
Michael
is
Bay is what
a very professional, a very talented version of Michael Bay.
I thought they were the same
100%.
person for a long time. I thought James Cameron did Armageddon.
Oh, really?
Before I gave a shit, yeah. What
Yeah.
did I care? Yeah, the
Yeah.
guy did Titanic. Yeah, he did Armageddon, sure. Pearl Harbor, absolutely.
Well, tell us, Danny, what are some of the themes you notice and or reoccurring things in his movies?
Yeah, no, I agree. The love thing is definitely there. It's funny though, like in Terminator 1, you know, it's kind of sprinkled in there, like the hot love making scene where there's another part that makes me laugh, Brandon, is when like, you know, they're making love or whatever, and like she does this face, and it makes me laugh, and I know it's
Does she
supposed to be
do
like
the-
a, like yeah, yeah. I know it's supposed to be like a serious moment, like, oh, this is when John is conceived, but like it's kind of sprinkled in that movie. With the other ones though, there's always that theme of that for sure. But like Brandon was saying, there's a lot of strong, you know, woman leads in all these movies. Even Rose, as much as we probably hate her for not leaving enough room on that door for Jack, uh, she's pretty much like, you know, the strong lead
Yeah,
protagonist
she's
female,
strong-willed and yeah.
right?
So strong-willed, her
right.
boyfriend basically controlled her.
But
Hey,
like,
look.
She broke free with
She's trying
Jack.
to break free. It's the
Yeah.
1912. I mean,
You got to give her some slack, man.
1912.
She gave a homeless guy the night of his life. All right, before he died. I mean,
hell
that's,
yeah, dude.
That's pretty sick, you know.
He shouldn't have been on that boat, dude. He cheated.
You know when you're like, hey, name or explain a movie in a terrible way. That was the perfect way to explain Titanic in the worst way possible.
He is.
That
He's
was
fucking.
great.
He's just a bum that fucking parties his ass
great.
off, gets to bang a rich chick, and then fucking dies. Like,
Awesome.
That's so awesome. No, that's
I
you
do.
know, if that was the description on the box, I would probably like the movie a lot more.
That's another one too. The little sound that old fucking whore makes when she drops the necklace into the ocean.
oh, yeah.
Like, dude,
Dude.
she's made that sound many a times.
One more note with her, real quick, before Danny continues, that I love to bring up. Even though I didn't think of this one, I thought of the homeless guy one like the last couple times I watched it. But the one that everyone's been pointing out on the internet is with the stone. She knows this like whole crew and all this money and resources are going in to find that fucking stone, and this selfish ass bitch is still just like,
Dude, I
fuck
hate
'em.
Old Rose. Old Rose pisses me off. That's why I just call her.
I never thought about that. You're right. They're
Jesus,
looking for that, and
dude.
this bitch just has it.
Yeah,
I've had
she gets there. That, like, yeah.
I just
They're
love how
like, oh,
she's
you know.
talking to Bill Paxton. She's like, "Oh, after Jack, there were so many men." I'm like, "Ugh."
She
I
had
don't
to
know
get
if
after
it's that,
that
but-
horse, dude.
You slept with a homeless guy, and everybody found out.
She got a taste of the homeless and
Gnarly.
couldn't go back. You know.
She hit up San Francisco real quick.
Sorry,
There
Danny.
you go. Oh,
Didn't
it's all
mean
good.
to
No, it's
interrupt.
fun when it gets derailed like that.
But and then there's always like a sense of like some form of like companionship. Obviously Terminator 2, you know, the Terminator and John, their companionship, like a father and son thing. Aliens, Ripley and Newt. You know, Newt's family's pretty much fucked. And so, you know, Ripley pretty much becomes her mom, and I think at one point she calls her mommy.
Mhm.
Which just kind of gets you a little teary eyed a little bit.
After she saves her from, I think, the Queen Alien. Mommy!
Right, yeah. But
Mostly.
yeah, it's just he knows how to capture those themes really, really well in all these movies. And also I think he's got a certain vision with a lot of his shots. He's got real good vision with like wide angles and stuff like that. And then yeah, like I was saying earlier, the car chases in the first two Terminator movies are fucking some of the best. Honestly, that one with Arnold on the motorcycle when he's chasing him towards the end is so freaking iconic, dude. I love that shit so much. And I love when he's like prepping to go to the jailhouse too, and he's like
Mhm.
getting all this stuff together, and the janitor like knocks on the door. He's like, "What do you got, a dead animal in there or something?" And the guy's like, "Fuck you, asshole!" Like so iconic.
Literally, the skin on his
Right.
metal skeleton is like rotting off
Rotting
of him.
off of his face, yeah. But yeah, I mean, he definitely keeps with the you know, the love and companionship themes. I think with all these movies we watched.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Rex?
Oh, yeah. I want to
Yeah,
know this.
yeah.
Let's go.
He's locked and loaded with something.
What are we talking about?
Your load.
Oh, all right. We're getting on the cutting board. So his themes are all right. The things I like most about James Cameron is probably his Terminator idea, because I think it's so fucking sick. Like thinking about sending people back to make sure someone's born because the enemy figured out to send somebody back to kill them to finish everything off. It was just a cool ass idea with the robots being an AI. I don't know. The 80s and this being the story you come up with is so fucking sweet. And the movie, no, just a bunch of them. I'm mainly talking about Terminator right now, but anyways, just it was just a cool idea. And then T2 takes it to a whole nother level, like the perfect sequel. And like, you know, I said, this guy's great at sequels. Way of the Water is better than the first Avatar. I mean, Aliens isn't better than Alien, in my opinion, but I really like Aliens. It's a great sequel on its own. And then also Terminator 2. But, you know, I like him all. I agree with you guys. He's great with action. My favorite scene in T2 is probably when he's on the motorcycle. He's got John on his back, and the way he reloads his shotgun while he's fucking driving is so damn cool. I was like, I remember being a kid watching it and being like, he's got to be the strongest man alive, because he's just, I always imagine those shotguns are huge, so you know, they like Elmer Fudd or whatever, just bam.
Yeah.
So he's just going with one arm, just boom.
Or in the first Terminator, where he's just straight lifts a shotgun like that and goes, you know.
No, that was Michael Biehn doing that, and that was kind of questionable. I'm like, bro, you're a human. Like, there's no way you're just holding a 12 gauge.
Yeah,
like,
he's from the future. Like, it's from the future, man. You don't know. They gotta be stronger.
Are probably pretty heavy.
Dude, he's probably
40-watt plasma rifle.
He grew up his whole life in war. Dude's probably strong as hell. You know, not like a normal 80s guy. So he's got that shotgun. But no, yeah, this guy, he's great at his action scenes and everything like that. Even Titanic has its moments. Like I said, the violins guy that's going down, the musicians doing their thing, like fuck it.
Still call bullshit on that.
Whatever, man. It's a movie. It's a movie. It's okay that aliens can go back in time to stop someone from getting pregnant, but as soon as you have guys doing the violin going down on a ship, it's completely bullshit.
100%.
Fair enough, dude. Fair enough. But no, I mean, I can see what you guys mean by this whole family idea, but I don't know. His themes don't interest me, I guess, as much. And you guys do say they're simple stories, but to me, they're not groundbreaking. What's groundbreaking is his ideas. Like, I mean, Aliens, I like the movie. I think it's great, but I also think it's like why the rest of the movies all sucked.
It's not even just
Aliens,
that, though. Like visually too is something you got to think about. Like Brandon mentioned the execution, but you got to think like visually. That's part of that execution. His movies look a certain kind of like perfect. If that
they look like
sense.
$1 million, and that's because they are.
The money's there, and you can see it. You know,
those Michael Bay movies.
Yeah, exactly. Professional,
which is cool, but that still doesn't change the fact that his themes to me are kind of boring and kind of just reuse trots, which when used in the right application, it's great. I guess I see what you guys are saying, but to me, they're just not the things that ever stood out to me for him. It was more of his ideas and how he used
fragile
things.
mind. I want to just
why am I fragile? How am I just fragile? Because open. I don't. I'm open. Look,
sometimes
man,
that's like the reverse.
I don't dislike most of these movies. I said I like most of these movies. So it's just my one gripe about it, but I still will watch them and enjoy them all.
How dare you?
It's not like I'm sitting here like, yeah, no, Terminator sucks.
No. To your point, though, it's like a reverse challenge for something like that, right? Like anyone can try to approach a unique idea and put their unique spin on it and get it something completely new. Or you can take, plot devices that have been seen a million times and use that as the backdrop to do something really grandeur or great. And that's what he does. And I think that's what he does.
I like to be surprised, I guess. And James Cameron doesn't ever much surprise me in terms of story.
Yeah. I can agree with you on that.
That's how I can sum it up so you guys understand what I mean. Because it's not, I'm not hating on this guy at all. It's just there. I guess that's the best way to sum it up is I'm never surprised by his story arc or choices. But that doesn't mean they're not cool. Like I said, these are great, but that's how I feel about them. Brandon?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you at all. The themes in his movies are what they are. They're not the most groundbreaking or unique. You know, it is a lot of family, love between a mother and a daughter, or love between a father and a son, or a father and a daughter, like in True Lies. You know, they're all very basic themes, and I think that's what helps his movies gain such traction as well. You know, is because they are such universal themes, and they're done in, to Aaron's point, they're done in like such a cinematic way where it's like, yeah, this movie's going to come out in like July. It's going to be, a summer blockbuster. It's going to make $200 million, and it's going to look like it was worth $200 million. The money is always there on the screen, but back to his themes, they're to use I don't know, maybe it's a pejorative, but yeah, they're slightly generic. But I always think that in every one of his movies, they're elevated to such an extent that it really, you almost forget that they're generic, and you just, I mean, I love Sarah Connor. I fucking love that character, and she has such a great arc, and we'll just end her arc at Terminator 2 and not think about any other movies after that. And it's wonderful. And the same with Ripley. I think what he does with Ripley, from where she ends in that first movie and then where she ends in Aliens, it is so good. And it's like, she's the, to stick on the point of themes, she's such a powerful woman and force. And if there's that mother-daughter relationship between her and Newt, and there's even like a little blossoming love story in that one between her and Hicks. Like, Michael Biehn, that motherfucker, every time he's on screen with a woman, he's like, he says the smallest amount of words, and they're just like,
Don't gotta say much,
like,
man.
Fuck Michael Biehn.
Just
That
magic.
guy. That guy's awesome. But
It's my birthday, buddy. We share a birthday. Me and the Bean.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Bean.
I have a nickname for him, but I don't think it's appropriate.
No, what is it?
The Beaner. You can bleep that if you want to.
No, he's white. It's not racist if he's white.
But his last name is Bean. I'm just like,
Hell yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree. Was that all you had for us?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Yeah, but like,
racism.
He's
End that on a racist note there.
he's a jack of all trades, and I can't stress that enough, honestly, because as I was watching him, I used movie night with my brother and my dad as an excuse to watch True Lies, because I knew neither of them had seen it. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna bring that along, show them. And they're not really big Arnold Schwarzenegger fans, and that brought up conversations I've had with people, including myself, where it's like, you don't realize how iconic Schwarzenegger was until you go back and watch these movies, and everything is so fucking purposeful with him on camera when it's James Cameron. Like, the way his head moves, the way he fucking will turn to a guy, the way he'll hit a guy. Like, he knew how to use Arnold Schwarzenegger as an instrument, and I love that.
Again, to True Lies, that 4K version does not do Arnold any favors, because all you see is the fucking stunt man.
Dude,
that.
I thought of that.
Yeah.
I saw the horse part where he's running in the horse through the lobby, and I was looking, the water splashing. I was like, that's not Arnold.
Yeah, well,
It is not Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Smaller than Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Oh, that's tight.
It's something we don't really talk about too often, but I need to remember to bring it up. Is just frequent use actors. Like Bill Paxton's also in a bunch of
Bill
James
Paxton
Cameron
is
movies.
great in True Lies.
Yeah.
We'll get to
Mhm.
that.
He rules in that movie. I can't wait to talk.
He's
He rules in
awesome.
Aliens also. He just rules.
He rules in everything. Yeah, Bill Paxton was a fucking boss.
Nice night for a walk, eh?
Well, fuck it. Let's get into the individual movies. I'm aching to talk about them. I'm sure you guys are too. So we'll start with
Gross.
Terminator, 1984, written by Mr. Cameron himself, cinematography by Adam Greenberg. I'm sure you're familiar with him. Movie buffs will be, at least.
Totally.
Rex is like, yep.
Um,
Yeah, I know this guy. Did that
Shit.
movie.
you know, like I said, and what can we say about this movie that hasn't been said? But take it away, Danny boy. Terminator.
Oh, you can say so much about that movie that that has been said. Like Brandon was saying earlier, I think Sarah Connor is one of the more underrated lead females that like doesn't get enough kudos. You know, everybody always talks about like these big, Disney princesses and things like that. It's like, no, dude, give me some badass women. Like, and Sarah Connor's always at the top of that list. But in the beginning of the movie, you don't really see it just because this is kind of like her origin story, if you will. I love 80s movies. I think this one especially stands out to me because of the score. Brandon and I were talking about it the other night. Just like the use of that synthesizer, like dude, it's so good. Especially during the car chases and shit like that. This movie it's so iconic. Obviously, I'll Be Back being one of the more iconic movie lines of all time, being originated in that. And I always laugh at like the guy that when he drives the car through the lobby, the guy's
That
reaction.
cop gets so annihilated. I love
gets
that, dude.
destroyed.
Every time it makes me and my brother laugh.
Oh man.
No,
But yeah,
I'm a come with me if you want to live guy.
yeah. Oh yeah. And
Agreed.
obviously, I
Agreed.
think a lot of people always just always watching the second one, they tend to forget that Bean said it
Dude.
first, bro,
Yeah.
not Arnold.
Yeah, but Arnold, honestly, he delivers it so much more iconically.
But yeah, it's
But
so much more iconic
because it's in a moment where you have time to kind of like settle in on him saying, "Come with me if you want to live." Whereas when Michael Biehn says it, like they're in a rush, he just come with me if you want to live, and they get the fuck out of there, you know?
Right? Yeah.
So I mean, Arnold kind of does own that.
Oh, for sure. The police station scene is one of my favorite action sequences of the 80s for sure. It's got like hard boiled vibes to it, like the way that like the bullets are flying around and shit. I like how it transitions from like normal vision to like Arnold's vision.
There's one cop that gets shot in that scene that does like a pirouette when he gets shot. It's so
he gets
funny.
blasted in the back, dude.
He does like a spin, dude, into the
it's
fucking filing cabinet. I fucking love that shit, dude.
Oh man. That, and then obviously that last chase scene where Arnold's on the bike is one of my favorites too. Arnold gets fucked up in that movie. Like he gets fucked up in that movie. He also gets absolutely destroyed in T2. But we'll get to that. But yeah, I love this movie, dude. I could watch this movie religiously if I really wanted to, but I do watch it every now and again. I don't watch it nearly as much as the second one, but yes, I love Terminator. Love it.
I'm really curious about this young man down here.
This movie sucks. Just kidding. I'm so just kidding. This movie gets a 10 from me just because Kyle Reese dies at the end, as you know.
Get out of here, dude.
No, that's
Mr.
great
Cameron.
that he dies.
Mr. Cameron did something great. He killed the guy at the end. I mean, even though
he also dies at the end of Terminator 2. Fucking.
But that one I take a little differently because he killed himself for the better good. Now, if John would have died, that would have been nutty. That would have been fucking nutty. But you know,
succeeds in his mission.
Yeah, exactly. Like at the end, he's going down. He's like, by the way, bam. Finishes out, that'd be crazy. That'd be nuts. But
drags John down with him.
With partners.
By the way, I was your Terminator all along.
Definitely the first one I've seen the least out of. I've even seen the third one probably 100 times more than, this first one. It came out the third one came out like 2003. I was like 12. I had this movie on DVD and I was like, this is crazy. Man, watched it on
the
repeat.
Third one.
Third one's crazy. It's so bad.
Hell yeah.
That movie's so bad, but when I was a kid, I didn't know what a bad movie. It was my action movie as a kid.
Yeah.
Like you got to see it like that. Like I'm 12 watching this, and I'm like, dude, that's so badass. They stopped it. They stopped the,
mine was
they stopped the
Terminator
nuke.
2.
They stopped the nuke, and Sarah Connor's dead. She died of old age. Who'd have thought, or whatever cancer she got from it. But anyways, no.
We'll give that third movie that when Arnold gets her casket and it's just full of guns and he's just mowing everybody. That's a pretty cool scene. I'll give it that.
I do like the Terminator in that one. I think she's a badass too.
the TX. Let's get sexy.
Get some side boob too.
All right, you're a spokesperson for that in person. Yeah. Do you need something sexy and killer? The TX. Either way, Terminator 1, it's got a great one. I can't believe this was like, quote unquote, his first movie, because Piranha, you said he's a step-in director. Then he also, on top of that, he wrote this, and you said he wrote it in his car as a homeless man.
He was Kyle Reese, bro.
Explains why he has the Titanic theme. The homeless guy gets the, I don't know.
He's got a
He was
homeless guy as a hero in a couple of his movies.
Yeah, because he knows what that shit's like. Now he's a homeless hero.
I don't think Leo's a hero when he drowns at the end. I think Rex enjoyed that for sure, though.
He saves Rose. Well, she saves him, and then but
yeah, you're right. Either way, this
each other.
He didn't. He's dead either way. He should have died earlier. Would have been easier on him. But this movie is pretty sweet. I do agree with Danny. Sarah Connor is the last person you hear when people talk about great female action stars and like stuff like that. Like Ripley gets talked about, like the newer ones like Caitlin Everdeen or whatever the fuck her name is, stuff like that. But no one ever talks about the Terminator, like ever. Like everybody loves the Terminator, but you never once hear them talk about. I don't even know her names. What's her name?
Sarah
Linda
Connor.
Hamilton.
What are you
Linda
talking
Hamilton.
about? She's even had a TV show named after her character. She's super.
Yeah,
important.
right. Yeah, but still, it's still not somebody you hear ever. Like I never hear someone be like, "Dude, Sarah Connor's like the best."
I don't hear enough love for Sarah Connor. I'll give that. Should be more.
This movie's great. Again, it gets a 10 from me. It ends with Kyle Reese dying at the end. I thought the first time I watched it, I actually thought it was crazy that he was the dad. It was a weird. I thought it was hella weird. Like when I finally watched the other ones,
I knew he was the dad when Linda Hamilton was getting that cut.
See, when I saw Terminator 1, I've seen T2 and 3 before quite a few times, and I didn't realize when I watched it who, I was a kid, man. I was a kid. I didn't understand the subtleties of watching movies like that. I was like, yeah.
Bro, that was a waitress that was waiting to get a ride like that for a long time, dude. She's been working doubles. She's on her feet all the time, dude. She just needed a good one.
I'm a kid thinking about watching this stuff. I'm not thinking that. I'm just like, yeah, sex. And but anyways, this movie's great. Up to you, Brandon.
Yeah, I mean, definitely one of the greatest of all time. Again, can't say enough great things about Linda Hamilton as Sarah Connor. She, even in this movie, she has such a journey, and where she starts out at the beginning, and then at the end. I mean, her last words to the Terminator are "You're terminated, fucker," and like. Dunfo. She's awesome. Kyle Reese is badass, and I this being his first movie is really impressive because it does not feel like someone's first movie. It's executed so well and at such a high level. It's I just get a little lost thinking about it because it's like so well done, and the special effects. Stan Winston helping with the design of the T-800 and all that shit is really cool. I mean, that's like one of the coolest robots ever in cinema history. Is the skeletal structure of the T-800. But I mean, yeah, great movie. Great lines, so many quotable lines, like we were talking about. Come with me if you want to live. I'll be back.
Wrong.
What day is it? Tuesday.
No,
what year? So good. Fucking hell yeah.
One of my favorite parts, honestly, is when he first sees her in the nightclub, dude, and like
Tech
the
Noir.
way, Tech Noir. Just that song. Every time I ever hear that song, I always think of that scene, dude. You got me burning. You got me burning. And I just love how he puts the dot right on her head, and then Reese is just there, just swings that 12 gauge out at the bar, dude, like a psychopath.
How 80s is that when her roommate is getting hogged out and she's got the headphones on still with her little Walkman?
And going back to what I was saying, how many rounds does he get out of that shotgun? I think he pumps Arnold with at least 5, dude. And they're quick. They're like bow, bow, bow,
Yeah,
bow.
he
I'm like,
fucks Arnold
yo,
Schwarzenegger up right there.
but like you were saying, you know, he's from the future. He's probably messed with even crazier guns
Yeah.
by hand. So this is like some like medieval bullshit. He's like, what is this crap? Like,
This is a
I could,
fucking musket.
Yeah,
Right, yeah,
I
exactly.
love fucking small details in that movie too. Like when he jumps through the fire onto the hood of the car, and that in that first tech noir and the chase out of it, his hair is all scorched and his eyebrows are burnt off. You know, it's like such a cool little detail. So then the whole rest of the movie, he has no eyebrows. And then I love the scenes of the Terminator repairing itself after getting into all these encounters. They used to
He's
fuck me
pulling
up
his
when I was a kid. That shit was scary, bro.
I still love how shitty the animatronic looks when he's like trying to look at himself in the mirror.
Not
It's
when
like,
you're fucking 6 years old watching that shit.
Yeah,
You're like, oh my fucking god!
That shit used to be top of the line, you know.
Oh, for sure it was.
She used to scare
Absolutely.
the fuck out of me.
Also,
1984, eat your heart out.
I mean, to talk about that scene a little bit too, that scene is fucking impressive because you can see the movement is animatronic for a second, puts the glasses on, and it smoothly transitions right back into real Arnold.
Yeah.
And it's flawless. It's like a seamless shot.
Guy's fucking a master from movie number 1 or 2, I guess.
For me, I really like the movie a lot as well. Terminator is a fucking classic. I mean, how can you be a movie buff and think that movie sucks? When you first launch a movie like that, you can't, know the success it's going to have, but it launched a franchise on your first movie too. Like, thinking about that, that's some George Lucas shit. That really only happens to a seldom few. And I think Terminator is a good example of that. I think Arnold Schwarzenegger kills it. I think, like you guys are saying, Sarah Connor, she's a great character that influenced a whole slew of strong female action stars later. Stuff from our era, like the early 2000s and shit, like Joss Whedon cites her as a big inspiration for Buffy and things like that.
Oh,
So,
Joss
like,
Whedon.
yeah. Mhm.
Loves strong female women, huh?
He went to Polanski Film School.
We're just talking about we're talking about a Buffy character. All right.
Oh yeah.
We don't need your sarcasm here, all right? When I'm trying to make a point.
No, I know. I'm just kidding.
Fucker. Anyway, shit like that. And then obviously the special effects are wild. The car chase scenes. I mean, to one of your guys' points, when he goes into the gun shop to order those guns, he orders a fucking future laser rifle, and the shop owner's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? We only
He
got
says,
this."
only got what you can see here. Yeah.
yeah,
Got what you
Yeah.
can see.
yeah.
He starts loading up. Hey, you can't do that.
Just blast that motherfucker. Yeah.
Or just Sarah Connor. Yes.
Hell yeah. He's a bad motherfucker. So that's why you feel that fear that she fears, and I think that's important to that movie too. Like, she's being chased down by this guy. You've seen him cap other people with her name, and you're just like, okay, this guy means
Still ain't gonna
business.
stop you from getting that fucking cut though. If it's
No.
that is something that's on the
What would
table.
it call him?
High stress times require high stress relief.
Should we really be doing this? There's a cyborg assassin after me.
Nah,
You
bro.
know what?
He was called the phone book killer. Remember?
Yeah,
Hey man,
that's a sweet name for a serial
That is
killer.
a sweet name.
hell yeah. But yeah, I would say Terminator is a perfect movie as well, like a perfect 10 scoring movie or 5, whatever your metric is. I would roll with that. Now we're gonna do these movies just a little bit out of order because I don't want to jump around with the story. So we'll go to Terminator 2: Judgment Day right now, 1991, also written by James Cameron. Cinematography, Adam Greenberg once again. Years later down the line, James Cameron loves to do that with sequels. Takes a good amount of time in between, perfects shit, and you can really see the difference with this one in that time gap, which is cool. So, take us away, Danny.
I have literally watched this movie. Got to be over 100 times.
Innumerable amount of
It-
times.
Like there's
stuff.
there's not even enough. I compare every action movie I see to this being like my 10. This will always be my 10, and my 1 would be like, I don't know,
This is the
something
blueprint, right?
stupid. Yeah,
Definitely not Craven for whatever reason.
yeah. There you go. Have it be Craven. All right. But yeah, what is there not to like about this movie. I think it's a perfect balance of storytelling and action because there's never a point where it like is dragging on for too long. I'd say the longest that it drags along is when they get out to the desert to get all their guns and shit. Freaking hey, Jumpy Connor.
Hey, Jumpy
but
Connor.
Jumpy Connor. But the
Hey, why don't
action
you just take the clothes off my
sequences,
back, eh?
right? Why don't you take the fucking fillings out of my teeth?
Yeah.
The action sequences in this movie are top notch. Like for the time, for 1991, the fact that they literally had like a cable and pulled that semi off of that, you
Mhm.
know, thing that
And they minimized the kill count
highway or
in this
whatever.
movie too, like,
Right.
which is kind of
But
crazy how like intense some of the action scenes are. And then
yeah,
like, oh yeah, no one's really dying.
and for the time, the T1000 was kind of state of the art, kind of trippy, cool looking. But as you go back and watch it now, it's pretty cheesy, but gives me Silver
Nah,
Surfer
dude,
vibes, I guess. But I still think he's one of the coolest sci-fi villains ever, just because he can kind of manipulate his body and
Bobby
different
Pats.
shapes, and
Oh
he can
yeah.
mimic people and stuff like that. And I think that's well done in this movie too, using two pairs of twins in this movie with the security cop at the hospital when he turns around. Oh, must be my lucky day. That guy's an actual twin. And then I don't know. You probably didn't know this, Rex. Linda Hamilton is a twin, and the other Sarah Connor in that movie is her sister. So they didn't use special effects on that. So I thought that was kind of cool, especially for the
I did
time.
not
Like
know that. I did not know that she had a twin.
practical effects to
Yeah.
to the extent that they could use them.
Well, and there's a deleted scene where they really utilize her twin,
Right.
which is like, I mean, we don't have to go into like super detail of it, but it involves, Arnold sitting in front of a mirror and her working on his like brain chip, so it's like Linda Hamilton and the dummy Arnold, and then on the other side of the wall is the real Arnold with her twin sister kind of mimicking their
Right.
movements. It's
Right.
pretty, I mean, and they fucking cut it out of the movie. What the hell?
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's a fucking trip.
And then when they go to Cyberdyne, that whole sequence is freaking awesome.
Miles Dyson.
Dude, yeah, and my favorite dude, the one I used to always get the laugh with is freaking Miles Dyson with the oh, dude,
He's
and
like, I got
Dude,
last
it's
breath on
fucking
you.
Hank that goes in.
yeah, Hank is the lead cop. It's so funny. Let's go. Arnold with the minigun is fucking insane. And then I talk about sound effects. I love the sound effect it made when he shot the grenade launcher, dude. That like,
Oh, so good.
like, so iconic.
That is
This-
like my favorite
yeah.
scene in that movie, where
Oh,
they're coming out of the
absolutely.
elevator and it's all smoky,
Absolutely.
and he has to go out there and clear the room for him. But he
Mhm.
doesn't kill. Again, he shoots them all in the knee, or he hits
Mhm.
him with the gas thing, or
Right.
or my favorite, where he gives the guy, here, hold this, and then he pulls up the thing, and the guy's like, oh, it just
Right, yeah.
dies.
He doesn't kill them, but he severely cripples them. Probably
yeah,
makes
yeah.
it probably makes a few of them, not the same anymore after hitting him in the head.
Dude, one of my favorite action
So
sequences in that
awesome.
movie is
So
the final
awesome.
chase with the helicopter, because they did that with a fucking real helicopter, and like the maneuverability that pilot does. I think the one that always gets
It's Michael
me
Bay for
is
you.
the one where he goes down, where he's like underneath, and then you think he's gonna go underneath the next overpass, and then he fucking goes over it. Dude, it gives me anxiety even after however many times I've watched this movie. Every time that helicopter does that. But
Yeah.
and then the iconic lines in this one, "Hasta la vista" and shit, and this is no doubt like a perfect 10 out of 10. Nobody can change my fucking mind. There's no way. It is the best sequel ever made, for sure. Empire Strikes Back, right there though.
Godfather Part 2.
Talk about your lack of enthusiasm there.
All right.
Sure. Rex?
T2 is a great movie. It's pretty good. It's all right. Not Michael Bay's best, but close. Anyways, no, this movie is sweet. Robert Patrick still kind of scares me to this day, just thinking back to this to this role he did, because as a kid, you know, I'm watching it and he's this dead face thing that's just coming after you, can turn into anybody, which really cool. You told me about the twin thing,
Mm-hmm.
because that's actually just kind
I
of
think this movie is why I hate cops to this day.
Anytime he scares you, just think about him and The Sopranos being the degenerate fucking gambler and losing everything. It'll
yeah.
it'll
it's
even
still
out.
hard. It's still hard to think that him being that store owner and stuff, to him being the T1000, I can't separate it. I'm sorry. Yeah, that run that Danny
Oh,
was
yeah.
just doing. Either way, no, this movie, like I said, it's got great scenes like that. That's flipping that semi, and again, like I said earlier, with him, the way he reloaded that shotgun. I like John Connor being in the movie as old as he was. Like, he's a little shit.
Dude,
Sitting there
when I was a
robbing
kid, he was
ATMs
like
and
my
stuff.
idol. I was like,
Dude, yeah, he's a
so
badass.
cool.
He's a badass.
Dude, I
as a
wanted
kid,
that little
like,
computer he had, dude. Rob fucking
dude,
people's
right?
bank
The
accounts.
dude gets
Idolizing
anything he
a
wants.
criminal.
Yeah, why does he dress so dirty when he gets all that cash? That was my question. Like,
Because he spends it all on arcade games like a fucking dumbass
and you
12-year-old.
notice that he's killing it at those war games, bro. He was
at an
practicing.
arcade. You don't
He was
just
practicing to save the human
in
race.
the 80s with like $800 and spend it in 6 hours. I don't care unless he's the worst person in the world. I like, hey, you might not be able to be Pac-Man, but you'll defeat the fucking armies of AI.
I could fuck up $300 at an arcade when I was 12. Trust.
Man, we gotta get better.
Catch me on the Simpsons game, bro.
There's no getting better, dude. In the 80s, they rigged those games, so you have to keep fucking putting quarters
like-
into them.
Get better.
In games, like, they literally read your inputs in the arcades.
Well, I think
So-
what you missed, Rex, is he took that money to go to the arcade, but did you notice what games he was playing? He was playing war games. He was playing that jet fighter game, and he's fucking killing it because
Yeah.
he was prepping to fucking take down Skynet, dude. Like, that's
Yeah.
fucking an iconic
He's-
scene.
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly. He's like, I don't know why, but I have this predisposition from my mom, you know, telling me my whole life I'm going to be a general. I'm going to do this.
So all I play are war
That's what I would
games.
be doing, dude. If my mom told me I was going to save the human race, I'd be like, yo, give me all the war games you can find. I'm in.
I'd probably weigh on the side of John and think she's kind of crazy.
They're already doing that with
for sure.
Call of Duty. They're fucking integrating them easily into the military system.
You want to be on my squad, baby.
Maybe. I also like the story they went with Sarah Connor. They put her in the loony bin.
Hell yeah.
Hmm.
Like,
Mhm.
that's so badass. Like, I thought,
Oh, that's
like,
a great
watching the
sequence,
first one onto
too.
this one, yeah, that whole time, like, it's just badass that they put her in there. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
who would have
Oh, there's
thought
so
that
many
a
good
lady
quotes in
screaming
that
about
whole
the end of New
section.
York or at the end of LA and the world basically by AI robots?
Yeah.
Check out this lady.
That's kind of what I mean about his snappiness with his movies. Like, this movie is like 2 hours and 20 minutes and it still feels like so quick. Like, each sequence and each scene is like pretty contained within like the structure of the movie, but it's like boom, boom, boom. Okay, we're at the mall. Okay, we're at the hospital. We're in the desert. And it's just
It's
I
quick.
also like that they have the pieces from the first Terminator, and that's how they're like, that's how it's like this weird full circle thing. Sending him back to kill John Connor is actually what helped start the whole.
yeah,
I don't know. It was just a real cool. It's like a circle,
yeah.
It's like
but
It's a circle.
it's like a circle. But no, this movie, yeah, this movie is a 10 for sure, and it's a 10, even though John doesn't die at the end. I can't not give this one a 10
Yeah.
for an
Well, that's
action
another
movie.
deleted scene from the first movie. Is it actually shows two CEOs from Cyberdyne Systems while she's sitting out in the ambulance. They're like, "Hey, did you see all that shit in there? It's crazy, right?" And then they go into the building, and then the credits roll. Like, so there's
I
they
didn't see
kind
any
of
of those.
yeah. It's a deleted scene for the first one. But it's pretty crazy.
Why you look so pissed, Aaron? You look
Maybe
so
he farted.
pissed right there. You were like,
He was
Oh,
farting,
no, I'm just chilling.
just letting it toot out.
anyways, yeah, this movie's great.
This movie lives in my bones. This movie is me, and I am this movie. I fucking dude, like I cannot express. There are no words to say that like demonstrates how much this movie means to my brother and I. Like, it's incredible. I know it from top to bottom, left to right. What if might just be the greatest sequel of all time. It is a true masterpiece of filmmaking. Like the T-1000, the CGI to me still holds up today. Like it really does.
It does, yeah.
And all the small details, just like in that first movie, the eyebrows and shit. When the fucking T-1000 is flying that chopper, he's like got a third arm grown out of him to like pilot the thing while he's shooting the gun. It's like who thinks of this shit, you know?
Right?
You know, and
Jimmy Kim,
and yeah, again, the pacing is perfect. Like you're never in one place for too long to where it starts to drag, except for again maybe the desert. But there's so many things in the desert that like are just stuck in my brain. Like, hey, what are you trying to take the fillings out of my teeth, or what are you jumping for, Connor? You know, that kind of shit. Or...
Dude, you forgot to mention, why do you cry?
Yeah, dude. Okay, and then let's go to that last fucking line from Arnold. I know now why you cry, but it's something I could never do.
Yeah,
and dude, fucking.
It's the Terminator learning, dude. It's the Terminator learning how to have true emotions. It's awesome.
Yeah, I get told I'm an emotionless asshole all the time, but I'll tell you what, Terminator 2 brings it out of me.
It gets you.
Hell yeah. I think Terminator 2 is one of the best sequels of all time. It wasn't the sequel I was talking about. And I don't think Aliens is better than Alien. I just think in terms of sequels, Aliens is just the best sequel in general. Like, holy shit, that's the best follow-up I've ever seen. But it's neck to neck with T2 because I always think of this one when sequels are brought up, and Brandon brought up Godfather 2. There's like a couple of them that are always like, shit, it's hard to kind of choose. And T2 is like always right there on the tip of my tongue. Like, fuck, I don't know. Because it raises the stakes in literally every way from the original. And what's up, Danny?
Nothing. I'm just kissing the mic.
Oh, I thought you were gearing up to.
No.
It's a mic, not a dick.
To talk about Sarah Connor in the first one, it's cool to see John Connor in the second one. As you guys are saying, to be this old in the story, and then obviously knowing what happens in the future of the movies isn't the greatest, but it is kind of cool knowing he becomes the general and we get to see him do all those things, and or at least aspects of those things throughout the series. It's just too bad James Cameron didn't do all of them. I bet they would have been so much fucking better.
Salvation's the best of them all.
No way, dude. That's like one of the worst ones in my opinion, personally.
I actually don't mind Salvation.
I don't think it's that bad. Not as bad as the third one.
I don't like any of them past the second one personally, but that's just me.
Christian Bale is maybe a miss as a John Connor, but I still think that movie has some is better than the sum of its parts.
Genesis was
No, dude, that one is like the worst one. That is like everything that is wrong with movies.
Dark Fate? Is Dark Fate the last one then?
That is the one where Linda Hamilton actually came back. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe that's the one I like then. Yeah. Okay. No, never mind. Genesis does suck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dark
Genesis is bad because it does like the member berries shit. It's like, hey, remember the first movie? Well, we're gonna go into the first movie and we're gonna change things around, and then we're gonna go into the second movie, and it's just like it's such a piece of shit.
Yeah. For real.
You heard it here first.
But you know, it's
I definitely not the first to say that.
Definitely not. No, definitely not. Terminator 2 is huge though, like not even just in the movie going sense, but like it spawned video games, you know, comic books. It pretty much blew up the franchise because of its success, and I think this movie is one of the best representations of what Brandon was saying in the beginning of the episode, where you can see the money like on screen. Terminator 2 just fucking threw money at every situation, and it really paid off. And
yeah, it was the highest costing movie at $100 million at the time. Like, and nowadays that's like people piss that for that's an indie movie nowadays. Yeah,
that's a B.
It's like a fucking indie, but it made $520 million. I just have the number right here.
500%, 520%.
That's pretty crazy. It's pretty goddamn crazy.
I mean, these
yeah.
days that would still be considered a flop.
And just think of all the still the residual income this money makes because, it's iconic.
Yeah. Fucking propelled Arnold
Merchandising.
Schwarzenegger into another
Probably, yeah.
action
Merchandising,
figures.
everything.
Fucking yeah. I mean,
See,
shit.
and that's another thing about
That's
the 90s
crazy.
that is, severely missed. And I understand why. They probably shouldn't be making action figures geared towards children
Out of
based
R-rated
off of
movies.
R-rated movies. But
Right.
God damn it, I love RoboCop and I love Terminator, and I'm glad I got to play with action figures based on both of them.
Oh, man.
Hell yeah.
The Predator figures, the Alien
Predator,
figures, the RoboCop figures, the Terminator
Oh yeah,
figures.
dude! I had an
They were
alien one where you squeeze the back of the xenomorph's head and it could squirt water.
Spit the acid.
Dude,
Yeah.
dude,
Yeah.
I had so many different Predators.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, those were good times. They still make a move. They make the toys for all of those movies still. Like you can still get Predator.
Well, yeah,
Toys and
now they're all
toys,
geared towards adult
Yeah.
collectors because they knew that those guys were the kids that were playing with those fucking things when they were kids.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even Jurassic Park, even though it wasn't R-rated, I mean, like some of the longevity of this stuff that we grew up with is wild when you think about it.
Dude,
But-
those Jurassic Park action figures were sick, dude. The T-Rex, you could
Dude,
put
that
the action
Jeep.
figures down its throat, and then you had to
We
take
couldn't
it out
afford a
of the
lot
belly,
of
dude.
things
It's
when
so
I was
dope.
a kid, but we had that Jeep that could fit like 4 figures in it.
Hell
That shit
yeah.
was sick.
Hell yeah. I have that Jeep in the closet over there somewhere. I've had that bitch for like 20 years or 30 years. However long that shit's been around. So let's move on to Aliens, then we'll just backstep a little bit because I just didn't want us to jump too far away
Oh,
from
keep
the
pushing
Terminator
it.
story. Yeah.
Get
So-
terminated.
Talking Aliens, 1986, once again, written by James Cameron and a couple other people. I don't want to like leave these people out. David Giller and Walter Hill. It was kind of a group effort for this movie. Cinematography is Adrian Biddle. I think he's come up once before. I can't remember exactly when we talked about him, but he's done some other things we've talked about. This movie,
Dude, he did Willow. He
Oh,
was the
hell
cinematographer
yeah.
for
Yeah.
Willow.
there you go. This movie can't be understated in my personal opinion because it takes a horror movie and makes it an action film basically with those horror elements still like remaining in place. But when I say I think the best sequel of all time, this is the one for me personally. So what about you, Danny?
That's bold. That's bold.
I just love it.
Um,
It's tight.
No, we just talked about the greatest sequel of all time, but no, I do like this sequel. Not taken away from Alien. I still think Alien is miles better than this movie because of the horror aspect of it. And, Ridley Scott and James Cameron have two completely different directorial visions. One being, Ridley Scott can really encapsulate you in certain movies of his, whereas James Cameron just kind of lets it fucking go. Just lets everybody just loose, so to speak. But I like this one more than Alien, me personally, but only because it's more action oriented, I think. Not to take away from the first one, but yeah, this one is so sweet the way that it kind of plays out. Paul Reiser's a piece of dog shit.
Oh, I love Paul
absolutely
Reiser in this
hate
movie.
him
Yeah.
so much, dude. Oh my
Hell
god.
yeah.
Hang on. Can I just
Awesome.
stop you? I have a question.
Yeah.
You said this one can't top the first one, but then you just said you like this one more than the first one. Am
What
I
I'm
following
saying as a consensus, this is I like this one more than the first, but it's not as good as the first.
I
is
think
what
I
I'm
understand.
saying.
You think the first one is a better made movie or
Correct.
a better overall
Yes.
movie, but for
It's
your
a better
taste,
overall movie,
this,
but for my taste, I like the second one because of the action.
All right, carry on.
Anyways,
I was just curious.
Vasquez and Drake, dude. I love that
Vasquez
duo.
was the stepmom in T2.
Yeah, I love that duo just because I like the scene where like their corporal or not the corporal, whatever their commander's like, "Hey, take everybody's ammo," and
Dude,
they're like,
Sarge
everybody's
is-
giving their ammo, and then the two of them are just like, "Fuck that shit, dude." They're just like pocket some like, and I love that like when it gets the shit gets hairy, they just start shooting. They don't give a shit. Like those
Yeah.
are probably my two favorite
Those
soldiers.
two
I
people
love
right
them.
there, Danny, are the reason that all of the black people in the movie die right in that same scene.
Well, it's awesome. Not that they died, but that scene is awesome.
Sarge and the other like private both get nuked in that
Yeah,
scene
they
because
get
of
absolutely destroyed.
them.
but I like the selection of like all the casting of everybody. Lance Hendrickson is the fucking AI. He's such a fucking little bitch, dude. He gets fucked up at the end of this movie, dude. The queen just rips him in half, and all that milk going everywhere.
Oh, yeah,
Just
he
like,
gets
Oh,
milk
I
for
love,
sure,
I love
dude.
when they get milky, dude. I love
Yeah,
it.
it's
Such
so
a weird
milky.
choice.
But yeah, for me, I feel like the star of this movie is Sigourney Weaver. She just is so fucking just. She seems so hesitant in the beginning because she's like, been through a fucking traumatic experience. Everybody on her ship died, and then she had to go into hibernation to get away from this fucking thing. But she like gradually becomes like a badass, comes back to being a badass, I should say.
I love
That
when
she
shit
was.
starts going down, how she just locks in and she's just
Right,
like a
yeah.
badass for the
When he's not getting everybody out of there, and she just immediately fucking runs out, and she's like, "Fuck this, dude! Like, give me a gun." My favorite scene though in the entire movie is when she's setting up to go back to get Newt, and she fucking makes that contraption with the flamethrower and the gun, and she like tapes it up and shit. Like, dude, it's so badass. Like, there's no denying she's the best part of that movie. And then Newt's kind of annoying. Bill Paxton is fucking hilarious this movie.
Game
he's
over,
kind of
man.
he's
Game
kind of
over.
annoying, but
game
he is
over,
pretty fucking
man.
funny. And his death is pretty fucking hilarious too, getting sucked in through the floor or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I like this one better than the first one. I know the first one is a better movie, but this is one I prefer. So
Hey
yeah, I
man, if
like
you think this
one
is a
lot.
better movie,
Yeah,
then maybe this is the better movie.
yeah. I
Maybe.
don't know. Maybe.
Maybe. Rex?
So, was this the movie where they coined the "I didn't sign up for this shit"?
Oh yeah,
This is that movie.
Bill Paxton
I'm
was
just
a
making
national
sure
fucking
because
treasure.
I've you've heard it a lot, but I've always thought this was the movie it originated from. But either way, this movie's
was-
fucking
It
sweet.
was the 80s, man. They needed those one-liners.
It's
It
more,
was a
yeah,
sweet-
it's
it's
more
a
the
great
iconic scene
one-liner,
from
man,
Sigourney
like-
Weaver. Yeah, it's more the iconic one-liner from Sigourney at the end that everyone
Mhm.
really remembers.
Mm-hmm. Remembers, but does not want to see rehashed again later in future installments.
Right.
Yeah, that's why they don't use it. But the other one they use all the time in other movies.
No,
Let's
but
take
in
that.
the way
They-
they did it in fucking
They-
Rum, it was so
It was
stupid.
worse.
That movie
It was lame.
sucks.
So
It
bad.
was terrible.
Yeah, it sucked.
I like that movie except for the last quarter.
Best part
Once
of
they
that
started-
movie is when
once
the
they
dude's
started-
eyes rolled into the back of his head. He fucking
Once they
Danny
started
and I watch it
fucking-
together.
You got a quart, and when I got a cut, you got a quart.
Once it hit that third act and they really leaned heavy into that nostalgia crap, that's when that movie started turning stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that use of that, the way they used that was terrible. I mean, the way they used a lot of that stuff was terrible. It was like Gladiator 2. Way to be on the nose with that shit. Anyways, this movie's tight. I like the first one more personally because I like the horror movie more than I like, when you had like 50,000 of these things and they die by 6 bullets instead of, murdering an entire crew, just one of them. It kind of takes the horror away from them and the real fear of the xenomorph.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still badass to see this whole crew of Marines just wrecking these aliens and getting wrecked.
I don't even know about that. I mean, I feel like every time they kill one of them, like one of them also dies because of, or more sometimes because all
Right,
of the acid.
blood. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
Like every battle they get into.
how many did they murder in those hallways when they were coming through versus how many there actually were of the Marines?
I think
What do you say? There's
that's-
like 12 or 15 Marines, and how
But
many
they're
did they say were
bugs, dude.
colonists?
There's hundreds of them.
That's
Hundreds.
what makes
But-
Aliens so great in terms of the horror aspect still remaining. In the first movie, we saw what an unarmed, unprepared crew, how they would handle a xenomorph. In this one, we have to see fucking Marines still not be able to handle this shit.
Yeah,
It
that's
still
the best
is
because they're getting
different though.
destroyed.
Yeah.
It still takes away the
Yeah.
horror from these guys. It just makes them less
Yeah, that's fair.
menacing.
Yeah.
Just it's the same problem. I also dislike Romulus for the same thing. The second they added another xenomorph in there, I didn't like it as much. Actually, they added a bunch more that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But still cheapened it. I like the single alien aspect. Like that's always been my favorite, which is no knock to this movie because I think this movie is fucking great too. Like this movie is an awesome sequel for different reasons because it's not a horror sequel; it's an action, slightly horror. But I love it all. I was really upset watching the third one that Hicks died. Newt died, I was like, that's all right. But when Hicks died,
the
I was like,
lieutenant's
why?
dead, whatever.
Why? You guys got to take everything from her. Like, so infuriating. And anyways, but no, I like this movie a lot. The end with the fight with the queen when she puts on that suit, that a suit of moving shit. I don't know what you call that. The thing was badass. Sigourney
Power
Weaver,
armor, we'll just say.
that power armor, that power armor, it was so badass. That whole movie is so badass.
Yeah.
Those Marines, hats off to them, and I'd want them protecting me.
I mean, so that is the movie that spawned the fucking Colonial Marines. Like, there's so many video games and so many cool shit based off of just that crew in that movie, and it's Colonial Marines are sweet. They might be like going around space, fucking, murdering people and taking their land, but they're still cool.
Oh, so they're
Yeah,
space
I feel like
Vikings.
that's a huge jump.
They're
out of
literally
nowhere.
called Colonial Marines. They colonize places.
Yeah, but most of the planet, they don't have aliens. Whose land are they taking? The dirt's?
I don't know. I'm just
Oh
being an
man, this is.
asshole.
Oh, there's a plant here. This must be the plant's planet. Let's not be here, guys, or else
Hey.
we're conquerors.
You think that those people have not murdered intelligent life out there?
Up until that point, you know that there aren't aliens. They call bugs, so they must have fought some other big bugs.
Yeah, they
but
probably
if
were
you call that
Starship Trooper
sentient-
in it.
Yeah, for sure. But do you call those bugs intelligent? Did they
They
build
have
things?
a brain bug, for Christ's sakes. And
Well,
he
that's
looked
like-
very sad when he was getting
He's
raped by that
afraid.
one like fucking thing at the end of the movie.
Look,
He's afraid.
Yeah,
it ain't the same, man. It ain't the same.
See, it's little one-liners, and especially in these movies, that make me laugh because like the delivery and just like remembering it. But it's funny.
Movie still gets a 10.
for sure. No, I think this is a great movie. This movie has such great, like, iconic characters that are so well defined. You could almost like put them in a silhouette and pick out everybody. It's I really like that a lot. And one of my favorite things. Well, not my favorite thing, but one thing I really respect about James Cameron and the way he handles sequels is he understands what a sequel should be, I think, because he always expands and elaborates, quite a bit more. Like with the Terminator 2, with Aliens, like you learn so much more about the xenomorphs as like a species in Aliens. You learn how they set up their hives, that they have a queen. He does such a great job of expanding the lore, I would say. And even with like Avatar or Way of the Water, that sequel is so well done. It does such a great job of opening that world up. Like, because in the first movie you think it's just, oh, this big ass tree is all that's on this planet, and then you find out like, no, dude, there's a whole other fucking, it's a planet, there's a lot of shit on this place. So I don't know. I think he's really good at that kind of stuff. And love Hicks, love Hudson, Ellen, Ripley. Call me.
Bishop get milky with me.
Yeah, dude, I wish Bishop would get milky with me.
I think Aliens is a great sequel. Like I said, I think it's the greatest sequel of all time. It might be the only instance where I like the first and the second one the same, but for different reasons. And I think, it's just entertaining as shit. You go back and watch it now and it reeks of the 80s. And I love that too. I love movies that still feel like their time, but also could easily, be filmed yesterday. And I think Aliens is one of those films. And I everything about it is cool. Obviously, the parodies that have spawned from it too. We've been referencing it a few times in the episode, but like Cartman, they mostly come out at night.
Mostly.
Mostly come at night. Mostly.
Or
that
his James Cameron thing with raising the bar. I've got to go under there to raise the bar. I'm the only one that can do it.
This is literally a bar. God damn it.
But he's Canadian, right?
He's from
Uh,
Canada.
Little
yeah.
eyes and flappy
Yeah,
mouths.
But yeah, just a great movie. I also give it a 10 or 5, again, whatever you use on your metric deal.
Out of 8.
Out of 8.
Who's your favorite character in this one?
It's Ripley for sure.
secondary character?
It's
Mostly.
definitely Bill Paxton for sure.
I guess I don't need to know why. I kind of already know why.
Bill Paxton, dude. I was talking about Bill Paxton with my brother the other day because he's like, dude, he's kind of a goofy actor. He's not that great. I'm like, no, that's what makes him great. Is he definitely like is just that fucking fuck up guy, but he plays
Near
it
Dark.
so well. Near Dark again is a great
This is
fucking
so
example
fucking
of Bill
Bruh,
Paxton.
twist
Stupid in that
dude.
movie, but he's
Yeah.
still so scary.
He's amazing in that movie, dude. I love everything about that movie. Um, I don't know. That's one of those movies where I like the whole cast. I mean, like because you feel like you're in the situation with them. You were already in the whole fucking crazy Nostromo situation with Ripley, but now you see her equipped with this crew and this team, and you're like, "Fuck, they're gonna kick some ass," and they still just get fucked up,
Yeah.
you know. And that's why I love about it. It's like the dynamic is 100% different than the original, but it just absolutely kills it as an action film. And it's always movies like this that I think speak to movies of the future, like Abigail, where it's like mixing two concepts and just throws it in your face and shit. And I think Aliens had to have spawned a slew of movies like that, you know. And
Yeah.
motherfucking James Cameron, dude. That's all I can
Hey,
say.
it's Bishop. I think
Motherfucking
Bishop's the
Cameron.
best. I love Bishop. That dude's always just cool as hell.
Oh,
No
Lance
matter
Henriksen.
what. Yeah.
Yeah,
No matter what. She hates him. He's like, that's okay.
I love when he worms
help
through the
you.
little tunnel.
Oh, yeah. He's like, I'll see you in a bit.
dude. You should see him in fucking Near Dark as well. He's badass as a fucking aging old vampire and shit. Fucking
I imagine he would be. He seems
nobody
like he
talk
would
that
be.
way to Mama, boy. If you haven't seen
Well,
it,
I'm looking up what it would cost to own Near Dark, and it's depressing.
I've got it. Yeah,
It's
I've got
depressing
that out
because
of
how
print.
expensive
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 80
What-
to $100
for a Blu-ray. Or...
or
The
Blu-ray.
DVD is
Ooh.
$30, and DVDs are usually like 10.
It's a pricey one.
Yikes.
All right, well, let's talk about True Lies. So, True Lies, we all know, is one of Danny's favorites. He talks about it all the time. He
I
loves it.
do. It's fucking love it.
What a movie.
94, written by James Cameron, but it's also based on a French comedy film. It's roughly translated as The Whole Nine Yards when you look up the title of it. It was like a comedy, and he was like, I'm going to take the concepts of this movie and make it into an action film. Its cinematography is Russell Carpenter. You see a bunch of familiar faces in this one, like Tom Arnold and obviously our boy Bill Paxton again. Hella fucking badass. I know we're all aching to talk
Simon.
about him in this one. Yeah, Simon, exactly. That motherfucker. So many good jokes with him, too.
10-year-old boy, man.
Dude, my brother was fucking dying when they got to the trailer park, and he's like, "Oh yeah, my house in the city is being renovated or whatever." My brother's like, "That's his real fucking house, dude."
Of course.
So fucking good. And then you got Eliza Dushku, very young, you know, kind of cool to see her in there. And then obviously the thriller Jamie Lee Curtis, she kills in this movie too, alongside Arnold. Take us away, Danny boy.
Dude, this is another one of those 100+ times movies. I remember the first time I saw this movie, I was 7 years old, and I think it was in the theater, but I didn't see it in the theater, but I rented it when it first came out. Dude, I got charged like an overdraft fee because I held it for too long. I watched that movie like 7 times, dude. I absolutely love this movie. It's one of my all-time favorite Arnolds. I think Harry Tasker is, like I said earlier, he was Jason Bourne before Jason Bourne. He's just a man of all trades. He's great.
What's
Cool
funny
off.
about this movie is it's both Arnold Schwarzenegger and James Cameron's American James Bond, and
It
neither
really
one
is.
of them are American.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So it is almost satirical, especially that it's based off of a French comedy, which is
Hell
fucking
yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
So many iconic lines in this movie. Tom Arnold is probably my favorite character in this movie. I know Bill Paxton. I'll get to him.
You know those
but I
words will
think-
never be spoken other than this movie.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, no. This is
Harpool
Tom.
is a great movie, dude.
This is Tom Arnold's best movie. There's no question about it. Him being Arnold's partner, dude, he has so many good one-liners that he delivers so well. My whole favorite thing is like the whole him finding out about his wife having the affair. And I think Brandon mentioned it earlier when he's going through the transcripts.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
like,
give me the goddamn
he's
page.
like, yeah, just give me the goddamn page. He's like, okay. Yeah, it's just there's like a nice mixture of comedy and little bit of romance. Obviously, there's action in this fucking movie, but then
So
it gets to
much
the
action.
it takes a pause from like the actual storyline and then fills the gap with the whole affair thing. But yeah, Bill Paxton, so goddamn funny, dude. When he when he takes him out on that car ride,
You
and he
gotta
has
have an
that like,
angle.
and he has that daydream where he just bops him in the face, dude, and he just absolutely murders him.
He's in the
And
middle
then,
of his fucking sexually explicit, gross
right,
tirade
yeah,
about
oh
fucking,
god,
oh man, her titties, this.
right, yeah. Make you beg for milk money.
Yeah.
But and I have to say, Rex, I know you don't like the end of this movie, but I think it's fucking awesome that
So
he's
sick.
flying the jet and he's doing it to the extent of like, yeah, he knows what he's doing, but he's still a little rusty, you know? He's kind of still trying to shake some shit off or whatever, but that death at the end is probably one of the most iconic action movie deaths of all time. There's no fucking question about it, dude. The delivery of "you're fired" and the way the guy's face, you can see him as he's going and right into his buddies in the chopper. It's you cannot beat that, dude. It's awesome. I remember this spawned a video game on Super Nintendo,
Oh, it
and
was like
I
the
played
hardest
the
video game
hell.
of all
I
time.
played the hell out of it, but yeah, I could really never get past like the mansion from the beginning. It was so fucking hard. But
Wait,
I would love to
there's a
play it
True
again.
Lies video game for real?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, on
You bet.
SNES. I got all the
Mhm.
way to the mall and never got past it because that shit is hard.
It's
Hell
very
yeah.
hard, yeah. But I liked those games were challenging back then. But yeah, an iconic film, man. This is a 10, a 5, or whatever you want to give it. Fucking coup de grace. I think it's in my top 4 right now on my letterbox, only because I just watched it recently. But yep. Okay.
Yeah.
What don't you like about the ending, Rex?
We'll get there. So first off,
Arnold didn't die, that's what.
I
Yeah.
mean, I think he's goddamn near invincible in that movie.
you can't stop Arnold in any action movie, pretty much.
Super Schwarzenegger.
Man never
Yes.
goes down. He can carry tree trunks. But nope, I like this movie. The ending is just a little audacious out of this movie. Like I did not see that coming out of everything going on. He just takes a jet, and the last fight is literally him just fighting off the dude while holding on to Elijah Dushku. She's like hanging off the jet, and he's fighting homeboy behind him while it's in a building,
Dude,
like
shit's
wrecking
tense,
into
man.
it. It's tense, but I was like, damn. It lost me there. The ending, the way the bad guy died was sweet, and of course, it's an 80s, or it's not an 80s movie.
This
but
is an
90s.
Arnold movie.
It's an Arnold movie based on the 80s Arnold, and I guess that's a great way to put it. You said it's an American James Bond by two people who aren't American. So that sums up the movie pretty good. But yeah, Bill Paxton's absolutely great. I love his red vet. I love his angle thing, and he tries to pretend. You hear what happened in wherever the hell that was you. Yeah, it's rough. Made Croatia or whatever the hell. Seemed like a walk in the park. Dude's a pussy. I actually thought for a second Jamie Lee Curtis was gonna give it up to him, and I was about to turn it off. I was like, "You do it. Get in there, hurry!" Yeah, no, but I did think it was weird though. This is my first time watching this, how the movie kind of stopped everything that was going on, and then it was like a fair.
Yeah.
Like everything literally stopped. But my favorite character is the captain. The motherfucker with the eye patch is
Charlton
so
Heston.
badass.
Yeah.
Oh my
Whoever he
God.
is, that dude's so badass.
Heston sucks.
I
So
love
far,
him
this
in
isn't
that.
blowing up my skirt, gentlemen.
He was so fucking ridiculous, and he's I think only in the movie 2 times.
No, I
I'm
love
pretty
that.
sure he
I
died
love the
like
other.
a year
I love the
later.
other line from the guy that's on Harry Tasker's team. He's like, "Crimson Dawn. Why do they call it that?" He goes, "Probably because it sounds really scary."
I also love the names. Like it's definitely like an early 90s, 80s movies. Because what are they? The Omega Task Force or something like that? Something ridiculous. Yeah, it's so great. It was so great. The movie was great. Arnold was great in it. I love the beginning of it. His dance with whatever
Doing
her
the
name
tango,
is.
bro. With
Yeah,
Tia
doing the
Carrere.
tango,
Ooh.
but everybody else is dancing normal. and they're dancing all fucking wild, and not one person looks at them.
Bro, it's
Like,
the
I
sex
understand.
appeal, all right?
I understand, like, they're hiding in the crowd, and it's just like people are doing their thing, and everybody's absorbed in themselves. But for real, if someone was dancing like they were on a dance floor, those people dancing with their moms would have stopped.
Hell yeah.
Just a weird thing I
Yes.
saw in that movie. I was like, what the hell are they doing? And how does not everybody know who this guy is already?
He's Harry Tasker, bro.
May I see your ticket, sir? Sure.
No, excuse me, Messi, invitation. Oh, here's my invitation.
Also,
yeah.
I love the
There's
chase
so many
scene.
lines.
The chase scene is definitely 80s style in the
Oh,
snow.
with the horse.
He's got the
that-
snowmobiles.
That's
Oh, that
Bond
one
as
too.
fuck, man.
That
That
one
is
too.
so
so
James
Bond.
Bond.
No, yeah, it's so sick though. Like all the skiers coming after him, dude. Oh hell yeah!
That's part of
that was all
that
tight.
scene is when he fucking goes on his back to shoot that dude and then rolls back onto
Rolls
his feet.
As
Hell
he's
yeah.
still
So
going
badass, dude.
backwards,
Yeah.
as he's still going backwards down the hill, that was tight. Also,
I
All
like when he
credit
cracks
to
the fucking
Arnold
dog
Schwarzenegger,
skulls.
man, for sure. That
I thought he was really gonna take that horse off that building into that pool. Like
Oh my
I was
God.
watching, I was like, get it.
Can we talk about
Get
the
it.
scene for a
Yeah,
second?
I love that. He's like, "What are you doing? We had the bad guy. You let him go."
Just how wild of a scene is that in general? Only James Cameron would do some shit like that. The fucking a horse chasing the dude on the fucking dirt bike or whatever, dude. And then he
Shit's
had
sick.
the
Takes up
jump
the elevator.
that yeah, the fucking that's what I love about this movie is just the humor is just so fucking off the wall and you can't help but laugh. You're just like, God
Oh, yeah.
damn it. Yeah.
Doesn't the horse like piss all over some aristocratic pussy's fucking shoes or something? Or they're just in that elevator with him.
No, they're in the
Yeah, they're just
elevator
like, what the fuck?
and
Say
the
something,
fucking-
dear.
yeah, say something, dear. He's like, oh, it's a beautiful animal, and then it fucking it swings its tail in the lady's face. She's like, oh.
Also, all those people have way more balls than I do because I would not get that close to that edge of that building on a bike like that. He like skirts right to the edge of it. I'm like, nope.
Yeah, fuck that.
That I mean, he did jump it off a building. I thought he was killing himself. I was so stoked on that part. I was like, this dude's a badass. He's like, ain't nobody getting me. I'm going off. Nope, but he landed in a pool, so it was all right. This movie
Hell
was
yeah.
cool.
Oh yeah.
I liked
Yeah,
it. I
since
did
no
like
one
it.
mentioned him until me now. Tom Arnold, like, come on, man.
I
Yeah,
He's
mentioned
fucking-
Tom Arnold. What are you talking
Yeah, he
about?
said he was his favorite person in the whole movie.
Yes.
Yeah, hell yeah. Dude, are you kidding me? That police captain or whatever the hell he is the captain of Omega. That dude came in for
Charlton
2 scenes
Heston,
and was
dude.
badass.
It's so,
So
funny
far,
that
this
you
isn't
say the captain of
blowing my
Omega
skirt
because
up,
Charlton
gentlemen.
Heston was in the Omega Man.
Mhm.
Ooh, whatever he is, I don't know.
Yeah. Tom Arnold's great in this movie. Arnold's great in this. Jamie Lee Curtis fucking is fantastic. She does a really good job. Like again, her arc in this is so good. From like meek little housewife to I love the scene in the hotel room after all the like the erotic stuff happens and the terrorists break in and they start kidnapping her. And Harry's like trying to tell them, "Hey, let her go. She's not involved." And she's like, "Harry, let me handle this." It's like, you
Yeah.
dumb.
No,
bitch.
he says let the hooker go. I'm the one you want.
Go. She does not know anything.
She's like,
yeah, that's awesome.
I'm actually the secret agent now. I've been like put into this situation. It's like, get out of here.
Talk about not being able to read the room. She's like, look, it is true.
Or when he gets all the freaking the sodium pentothal injected in him, she's like, have you killed people? He's like, yeah, but they were all bad. Like the way he delivers that line is so good, dude.
Yeah.
That whole shootout on the island, the shootout in the bathroom, the car. This movie fucking bangs, dude. This is a sick ass movie. Maybe the best action movie of the '90s. James Cameron, dude. I don't know,
Whoa,
because
that's
Terminator 2 is
crazy.
also
Terminator 2 is
technically
91,
90s. Fuck,
yeah.
that's fucking yeah. I mean,
So
James
many
Cameron-
iconic '90s action movies. You gotta slow your
Titanic
roll
was in the
there.
90s.
yeah, but Titanic sucks.
That's bold. That's a throw
Crazy action movie.
bold accusations out there.
Wow.
But T2 and True Lies are definitely probably 1 and 1A or 1A and 1B of best action movies of the 90s.
Hell yeah.
Both done by Jimmy Cam.
I
JC.
love I love True Lies as well. I think it's awesome. Like I said, I was stoked to rewatch it this time because I just got the 4K as well and I hadn't watched it yet. Jamie Lee Curtis, 100% my favorite character in this movie for all the reasons that you said, Brandon. Like her arc is the most interesting. My favorite scene in the whole movie, honestly, is the interrogation scene with Arnold and Tom, and they're using that like "tell us everything you know" voice.
He's like,
And
how do you plan to escape? He's like, well, I'm gonna break that guy's neck.
Yeah.
I'm gonna shoot this other one, and I'm gonna fucking kill you with the tool.
not the torture
No,
scene.
he's
That
talking
scene is
about
sick,
when
but
they're when they're in the
when
room.
they're
How long
talking to
have you
Jamie
been
Lee
over
Curtis.
this
Oh
before?
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Because-
Tom Arnold keeps like interrupting. He's like, "Can I just handle this, bro?" Like,
he keeps saying funny things, but we as the viewer can't hear it in that deep voice thing. We just have to use our imaginations for what Jamie Lee Curtis is hearing because he says like 4 or 5 funny things, and I'm just like, God damn it, dude, that's such a great scene. But I love that shit too because I love Jamie Lee Curtis is like she goes from afraid to so serious by the end of that scene, and she does that through the whole movie. She goes from, like you said, super meek to like total badass and trying to own the situation. And at the end of the movie, she's fucking literally working with Henry at the end. So it's like now she's this badass
Harry?
spy chick. It's just or Henry, I mean. Um,
Harry.
and it's just awesome because you don't expect it when the first time you see the movie, and my dad hadn't seen it, so he was just like, "What the fuck?" And I don't know. It's just it's funny to show people movies like that haven't seen it and watch it with them when you've seen it a million times. You know,
She inadvertently like murders like 15 terrorists by dropping that Uzi down the stairs.
Oh, dude,
Scene's
the
pretty
craziest drop
ridiculous.
of
Yeah.
that
But-
scene.
That movie also has a great running away from an explosion scene, Arnold, and then into the fucking water. It's
Oh, definitely.
sick.
Dude,
Yeah.
my favorite is when he fucking steps on that board and gets that AK and just starts
Dude,
blasting those guys.
And he looks
And
so
the way
fucking.
the camera is, the way, like you were saying earlier, the way the camera is, the way that Arnold's standing, he's like kind of flexing while he's doing it. Fucking iconic.
Well, and he looks so fucking cool in that scene because he's got like the dress shirt that's like ripped,
The guy
and
ripped
you can
and
see,
tatted,
you know,
yeah.
and he just looks like a fucking bad.
And he's still
motherfucker.
kind of shaky from the sodium pentamol or whatever.
Yeah. Homie was faded.
Yeah, he was.
All right, well, let's move on to Titanic. I know this is going to be like us versus them because Danny and I like it and you guys seem to hate it. So,
never said I hated this movie. Never one time.
Titanic, 1997, written by James Cameron, cinematography by Russell Carpenter again, same guys, True Lies, which is cool. The movie stars Kate Winslet, who's one of my favorite actresses of all time. Leo, obviously. Mr. Billy Zane, who is also underrated to me personally.
Hell yeah, dude.
But yeah, Titanic. So take us away, Danny. Unless you want to wait
No.
until no,
I
you don't
will
wanna wait?
absolutely take it
Take
away.
it away.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, I like this movie for what it is. Like I was saying earlier, I'm not usually a fan of like, hey, let's take a historical event, like a major historical event, and recreate it, but then let's throw like a love story in it. Like I fucking hate Pearl Harbor. Like that's one of the ones that really like irks me because it's like, I just,
Love it.
it's not needed, and because the action in that movie is pretty decent, but for this movie, it doesn't bother me as much just because I love Leo, I love Kate Winslet. I think going back and rewatching this again after I hadn't for quite a while, it's shocking how young they both were. I mean, if you really think about it, I think Leo was like 22 or 21 or something when they filmed this movie. So that kind of blew me away. Billy Zane, total prick in this fucking movie, but he gets his, which is pretty tight. Kind of, I guess. He does get away on the boat because he's a fucking
Nah, she
asshole.
just explains what happens to him at the end. It's lame.
Right, yeah. But I think the best part about this movie, all the romance bullshit aside, is just the practical effects that they did use. I mean, obviously they didn't like fully break this boat in half, but like all the shit that they built in Mexico when they had that
They did a
setup
lot.
or whatever is fucking, it's impressive. It's crazy. And I love one of my favorite scenes is just as it cracks and it's coming back down like this and the people are just falling and that one guy just clips that railing, dude, and just like
starts
man.
flipping. Woo!
It's so violent, but it's so like real, and like the force of the boat going down and like sucking people in. Like, dude, even when you hit that water, dude, you're fucked. Like, you're gonna get sucked down from all the pressure. It's crazy to watch that, and watching it again kind of blew me away. But yeah, I mean, I guess the romance thing doesn't fully bother me as much in this one as it would in other stuff, like I was saying about Pearl Harbor and shit. But it's still a good movie. I think it's an amazing achievement, especially being one of the first movies to ever gross $1 billion, which is fucking insane. Because now you think about $1 billion, and it's not really, quite the number that it was in 1997. But it's a good movie. It's not one that I like frequently will go back and rewatch, but maybe a girl wants to come over and watch Titanic. So sure, I'll see you at the second half when you fall asleep.
After
But,
you've already broken in half? Is that what you're talking
exactly. There you go. Exactly. But yeah, it's not as bad as these two knuckleheads are gonna blow it up to be.
about? Agreed.
Oh, again, you guys are dramatic. Never said I hated this movie. I said this movie's just
Just okay. Just
nothing
middle of the
special,
road.
nothing great, nothing bad about it. Like, I don't hate it. If it's on, I'll sit and watch it while on my phone most of the time. But I've seen it plenty of times. This isn't a movie you had to watch again to remember anything about. Because what's there to really remember?
The
Either
ship
way.
sinks.
Either way, I do like parts of this movie. I did read that Kate Winslet still wasn't young enough for Leo back when they did this movie, so there was no real interest there. But so I don't
Hell
believe
yeah.
that love story at all. Either
The
way,
best of friends in real life.
but no, this movie is cool. I mean, the love story is cool. I mean, I prefer more the historical value of it because I like history more than I like this movie. And the history of this, how it went down and everything is pretty cool. The love story is necessary to propel this movie because you can't really turn this into an action movie or anything like that. So if you're going to tell a story
Well,
about
you
the
could.
Titanic, yeah, but if you're going to tell a more historically viewed version of Titanic while making it a blockbuster movie, a love story is the way to go. So I don't argue his choices.
Yeah.
He could have killed Rose instead,
I was just about
and
to
then
say
we wouldn't have a liar at the end.
they've made plenty of movies about Titanic that weren't hinged on some fucking stupid love story. Like,
But did any of them gross $1 billion?
I mean, they were wildly successful for their time, but yeah, they didn't touch these lengths. But yeah, the love story thing is how you get the girl audience there too.
Yeah,
you,
no, exactly.
you
$1
hook
billion.
the whole audience. Yeah,
I mean, 97 was the peak, was, probably
Celine
a crazy
Dion,
time.
her heart
Yeah,
was
so,
going on.
Dude,
oh,
I
man.
fucking
My best
hate
friend's
that
wedding
song.
came out in
Come grab
97.
Every
dude.
time
come grab me.
that shit started playing, I'm like, give me a gun, please.
Wherever you are, Brandon,
Fucking hate it,
I
man.
will piss you
That
off.
song's
The song-
does make me mad.
That
Actually,
song does suck. Honestly, I'm gonna have
That
to.
song's
agree
the
with Brandon.
greatest song
It's
to ever
terrible.
grace
It's
the
a pretty
ears
good
of
song,
this
honestly.
mid-movie.
It's not though.
no, and they overuse the hit from the little kick from that song, like the whatever the thing is called. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, the do 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 do.
Here, far,
No, it's not here.
wherever you are, I will suck your fucking dick, you piece of shit.
That sounds like
What?
a night to remember right there.
Yeah.
It
Jeez.
sounds like the song that should have been playing when what was going on in the car was going on. Like, my dick will
Think Leo got
go
smoked?
on.
I hope he did. I hope he got
Hell
smoked.
yeah.
Hopefully, but either way,
It's
I mean,
1912.
I think Aaron summed this movie up real great. I think this, homeless man gets used by a rich lady and then left to die.
Mm-hmm.
Hell
She don't
yeah.
give a fuck about the homeless. That's why she lunges that stone into the ocean at the end.
Oh,
She's like,
dude,
"Fuck these
after
guys."
I love what Bond said about that earlier. Just
Oh, dude, she was whoring around in her 20s when she was done with the Titanic, man.
not even that. Just like you're like, oh yeah, they're spending millions of dollars to dive down into this ship, and she's just holding on to it the whole time. Going,
Yeah, she's a goddamn bitch.
She's like, "You want to see Unsinkable? Just wait till you see this pussy."
Jesus.
Damn.
Good thing we're an hour 40 minutes into this. People.
Yeah. Anyways, Titanic. It's a middle of the road movie. I've got no hate or love for it. It lands the same as his other movie, Pearl Harbor. It's the same.
Oh, you're a
It's the
funny
same.
guy.
Yeah.
It's the same, man.
Yeah.
It's like Pearl Harbor. I don't hate it. I've got no reason to hate it, but I don't love it.
I
It's
also hate
just-
Pearl Harbor, and I would agree with you that this movie is equally as bad as Pearl Harbor.
I don't think it's a bad movie though. It's just one that doesn't hit me.
I do.
It like
I do. Well, tell us why. It's your turn. so
Yeah.
tell us why.
I mean,
Go for
okay,
it.
so here's the thing. Technically speaking, it is a very, very well crafted movie. Obviously, he pushes the limits of special effects and shit every time he makes a movie. So that is no different here with the Titanic. That all being said, I don't give a shit about the Titanic, for one. And for two, the relationship between Jack and Rose to me is not done well. It's not good. I think if for me a much more interesting Titanic movie would be, you could still have that love aspect, but they don't really like. I think much more interesting would be if they delved more into like the class separation of the Titanic. Like it's kind of there a little bit, but it's like poverty's kind of glamorized in a way when he takes Rose down there, just like, oh yeah, we're all dancing and having a like we're in the bowels of this ship, you know, and it probably should look way worse than it does down here because everything's like clean and like I don't know.
the ship was brand new. It was his first voyage.
don't know.
Nobody was there to shit in it yet.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I'm trying to find things that aren't there, but I just really
Bitch.
this movie does not resonate with me at all. I I honestly I think I love Kate Winslet. I think she is a great actress. I think she's bad in this movie. There were some line deliveries in this movie where I was like, man, she is sounding like a 16-year-old drama kid right now. Like she's not good. Like to
Because
me.
you used to be one or what?
Wait, wasn't she like 16 or something in this movie?
I don't know. She's
No,
probably not.
she's
She showed
like-
her titties.
She was like
She was
19
like
or 20, I
or
think.
20,
yeah.
yeah.
But she wasn't married?
Huh?
What?
She wasn't married?
I don't know.
I don't think
I
so.
don't know
Maybe.
shit about Kate Winslet.
She's already too old. No, I mean the character.
Mm.
The character,
No,
not
no,
Kate
he
Winslet.
was-
I don't
he
care
was
if Kate
going to
Winslet's
be
married.
Yeah, she was engaged to Billy Zane.
Yeah,
Yeah,
engaged
she's
at,
really-
at 19 or
Yeah.
20. She's used good back then.
Billy
Back
Zane.
then, they would have been like, nope.
I think this
Sorry.
movie's also just overly long. Like I hit the timer on my thing yesterday when I was watching it, and I was like, "There is an hour and a half left in this movie." I
You
was
love long movies.
Yeah, I thought long movies were your like bread and butter.
Yeah, what the fudge?
but not when they're filled with bullshit.
Oh my God, dude.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't like this movie. I've never really liked it though. I hate the song. I hate the relationship between Jack and Rose. I do like that Theoden King is the captain of the Titanic though. Bernard
yeah.
Hill from Lord of the Rings.
Hey, he's
Rohan.
dead.
Man,
Another trivia from Danny.
You got it.
Okay, so here's the wild thing. I agree with like everything you said. For
it's
the
also
most part.
like why did you need to do all of that? It's a movie about the fucking Titanic, dude. Fucking use CGI.
I think that you make a lot of great points.
Just kidding.
You make a lot of great points, and I don't disagree, but I will, for reasons to explain like why I like the movie. I think the love story is a really good vehicle to take us as the viewer on a tour of the ship before it sinks. And it gets us attached to the situation, and it gets us feeling like this nothing could happen because this everything here is so glorious. It's so amazing. It's the unsinkable Titanic. And then when the shit goes down, I feel that tension. Like as the viewer, even when I watched it this last time, I was like, God damn it, James Cameron is great at building tension, not only with the characters that he's kind of got us used to already, but also the atmosphere of the ship itself. And like I mentioned A Night to Remember earlier, that's the old one that follows the exact same shit, but there's no love story in it. But every other plot point is almost identical. And I mean, A, because it's based on a historical event, so they're only going to go through so much on the timeline. But B, because that movie doesn't waste time, and it's like you said, it's 3 hours is too long even for the opus of a movie that this is. It's still way too lengthy. I think if you'd cut it down by 30 minutes, it'd probably be perfect. Um,
Mm.
I love it as is, though. I might be the only one in the group that will outright say I love the movie. I grew up being obsessed with the Titanic, like the history of it, and being curious about the wreckage and shit. And when I found out that James Cameron had, dove the ship himself, not once, not twice, but like 17 fucking times, and had done all this research, and he's like part of the biggest reason that we know so much about the ship that as we do it at this point. I think that's pretty badass. And I just everything that goes into the movie, and Bill Paxton's character to me in that movie is fucking awesome because he's leading that expedition, and we're, as the viewer, we're introduced to them immediately. So that's our main focus is always the Titanic itself, and I think that it's true when it's not sunk and when it is sunk, and I love that aspect of the film. So I personally love it. I give it a 10 out of 10. I think it's sick.
I love that they
I
all got
appreciate your perspective.
fucking roofied by PCP. Did you know that?
What?
On set, they were eating clam chowder one day. The entire crew,
I
everybody,
did read that. Yeah.
and somebody spiked it with PCP, and they all ate
Fuck
it.
yeah.
Yeah, dude,
Somebody, it was either Leo or Cameron himself.
right? But dude,
He's like, "It's
I
time
would
to
love to
spice this
just
movie
have a
up."
conversation with James Cameron when he was on PCP. He's like, dude, I have 17 Terminator movies written in my head right now.
Oh yeah. All right, so we touched on it a little bit at the beginning of the episode by poking fun at Michael Bay, but like influence that he has in film, we can't shy away from. We got to talk about it a little bit. Like we
No,
said,
absolutely.
he always pushes the envelope. Like you mentioned, Titanic, you don't even like it, but you acknowledge it's a technological marvel of its time. Those things are hugely important. So let's talk a little bit about that before we wrap it up here.
Oh,
Danny,
his influence on film will be forever. I mean, look what he's doing with these Avatar movies. We've only got 2 of them, and he makes it sound like he's got like 5 or 6 in the works. I know that there's definitely a 3rd one coming out this year, and then the 4th one I think is in 2 years after that, 27.
I think he said 5, and the 5th one's gonna wrap it up because the 4 will do the 4 tribes, and then the 5th one wraps up the.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I think he's going to have a lasting impression on directors to come. I mean, him pushing the envelope using all this technology that, I don't think anybody else has really used it. I mean, I don't know if it's because he's got a patent and they got to get his permission or what it is, but just going back and, even though we didn't watch these movies, watching the first Avatar versus the second Avatar, like, yeah, it took 10 years to make, but dude, you can notice the difference. Like, it's night and day. The second one is so much better than the first one, and not to take away from the first one is still awesome, but like just what he was able to accomplish with the equipment that he had. I mean, I always say that Christopher Nolan is like Mr. IMAX. James Cameron is like Mr. fucking technology. He'll use something new and improved and different that's never been used before. I think the underwater technology that he uses is top tier shit that I like I said again, I don't think anybody else is really using it. It would be cool if other people would use it, but maybe again he's got a trademark. I don't know. But yeah, he's definitely going to be one of those directors that's talked about for a long time.
oh yeah.
Yeah, so far he has 5 movies slated for Avatar. The last one coming out in 2031. No name for it yet, but yeah, so 5. But anyways, yeah, James Cameron, obviously he's been since he dropped Terminator and is now to this day an influence on just cinema and everything like that. Is his
Yeah, he's
storytelling
currently influencing.
yeah,
cinema.
he's currently still influencing people, but his style, because like you guys said, his movies look crisp, clean, amazing, $1 million movies. Like when I was watching True Lies, it was hard to tell for me a couple times this was a 90s movie. It looked really modern, and then you see the computer screen. It's like Windows ME or Windows 95 or I don't know, whatever it is. Either way, but so anyways, he's really good at what he does, how he films.
Windows ME. Yeah, you're about 10 years late. It's like Windows 95.
Whatever it is, man. I don't know what one it is. It was just old,
Yeah.
old as hell. But yeah, I think he'll be looked at forever. I mean, he still has franchises that are going today. Like his Avatar one's obviously his newest one, but the Terminator one will still constantly probably have movies made later on. You know, stuff like that. A lot of people use Aliens as a reference of making like action horror movies. So like, you know, he'll be on long after he's gone, which I mean, he's planned to be here till at least 2031. So he'll be here for a long time going on.
If anybody knows the future or the past, it's fucking that motherfucker. So
You know, he's raising the bar always. So James Cameron's a badass.
Yeah, I agree. I think he will be a mainstay in film now and forever. He is currently influencing the way things are done and will influence the way things are done in the future as he's done in the past. I am really interested to see the evolution. I mean, we've already seen such an evolution of the CGI character, you know, since like Gollum in Lord of the Rings, and like look at where we are now. Imagine, you know, they make Lord of the Rings, which would kill me, but if they remade it in the future with the technology that they have with like Avatar, I mean, it's going to look fantastic. It'll probably be a shitty movie by comparison to the Peter Jacksons, but that movie's not made yet, so we won't judge it yet. But I'm just saying, like, the things that James Cameron implements in every film is always used going forward. It's like the new standard. Hey, this happened. Now this is where we're at. Now we got to constantly make things. Yeah. So raising the bar, as South Park, you know, parodied. So he's great. He's a great guy.
South Park always nails it right on the head.
oh yeah, it's like a rite of passage. If they burn you, you're fucking good.
You know you're famous.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't really add anything to what you guys didn't already say. He's just, you know, he's a fantastic director. He squeezed an extra 30 minutes out of us for this episode. That's how you know he's good. We usually don't go almost 2 hours for anybody, but here we are. Hey, mama said the way you move. What's next week, Danny?
Lead, lead.
Huh?
Lead out.
What? Excuse
Yeah.
me?
Led Zeppelin.
Led Zeppelin. That is our next week's
Shut up.
episode. Gonna go ahead and just listen to all the albums because, you know, they only have that 9-album career, so it's not too crazy, and a lot of their albums are really short. So there's 10
Yeah,
total, but you don't need to
no.
listen to Coda.
Yeah, no.
9 albums.
Coda's good.
Yeah, but Coda's like B-sides and shit. That was all recorded like after or before Bonham died, but they were like unfinished tracks. They were doctored later. You know, it's like you don't have to listen to it. It's still good, but it's like if you want to talk about their core 9, that's kind of like their whole deal. But if you want to do Coda 2, it's fine. They're not as long as you think, Rex. Like some of them are only 6-7 songs long, so it's like,
There you go.
you know.
But isn't Led Zeppelin, you know, 6 songs is still 45 minutes?
Yes.
Yeah, so don't give me that some are just 6 songs bullshit.
You can
9
handle it.
albums is a lot to go through to absorb for an
Bro,
episode.
Led Zeppelin is
James
iconic.
Cameron's filmography is longer than Led Zeppelin's discography.
There you go.
There is a wildly difference between the two, you
No,
son
there's
of a
not.
bitch, and that is
No, there's
no,
No, wait,
no,
both are
you
iconic.
don't. I don't.
well,
I'll
you
listen to 'em.
you do
I'll
what you
listen to
want to do, but the Led Zeppelin is
I'll
next
listen
week's
to 'em.
topic, and that's hope everyone's excited for that because that's another one of Danny's choices. And yeah,
Yeet.
yep,
What's after Led Zeppelin?
Alfonso
The guy that
Alfonso
just
who?
did.
Cuarón.
No idea what that is.
Cuarón.
Oh yeah.
Keon.
Well, this has
QAnon.
been fucking James Cameron. This is your
We're
boy
not
Practical.
fucking James Cameron. This is Danny Boy. We're not fucking James Cameron, by the way.
You don't know that.
Jesus.
Rex, are you signing out, Rex? Or are you
Oh,
just gonna hang
yeah,
out?
I'm sorry. I was just gonna end with that.
You're just gonna chill.
He don't
Okay.
know. My name's Rex. There you go.
And I'm Brandon. Have a good night.
I was
Yeah.
weak,
Pussy.
dude.
Good.
I was weak. Supposed
Why?
to be
He's-
better than that.
He was just telling you to have a good night.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
usually
he
more
have a
quirky
sleepy-
here. No, it's
No,
usually
you know
more
what?
quirky and like cute. You know,
Go
like
fuck
what was
yourself,
that?
San Diego.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought right there.
Hey, it's almost time to watch some WWE Raw.
Why are you fucking sponsored by them now? Or
I
what?
hope so. I hope
We
so.
got
That'd
our
be sick.
sponsor here.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
What is
All
your
right.
What does your jacket on your chair say? Cum punk?
Hell yeah, dude.
He is a compound.
Oh yeah, that's
we'll,
tight.
we'll catch you next week, everyone.
He is a cum punk.
Love you.
Cum punk.